working now? Hello world test.
Something a bit more exciting to listen to whilst we do this. So, I'm trying to fix my hair before I switch scenes to my hair. Feels like it's gone kind of weird. It's not really, what's the word? It's acting weird after I washed it. I don't know what's going on with it, but I might. If this keeps it up more than just today, if it feels this way tomorrow and then the day after, 3 days, I might just shave the top of my head again. So, anyways, look, timeline. I've written down a year at random, so we got that going for us. I was thinking this would be do we already hold on? We're on timeline, but we don't have a Steve. We don't have anybody for there. So now if we search for Steve, but we're focused on timeline today. How do you spell migrate? Also, that should be capitalized, it's not a title. Hold on, that shouldn't be the first thing. I'm changing my mind. I feel like what should happen, half of humanity moves to Mars, then the notes on the parasites, then, or maybe, great. How did you spell Pluto? I didn't capitalize it. Capitalization is important. Okay, so we got roughly half. Do we keep the next event the same year? So I'm imagining that month. Do we? So, like, May of 2135. Or do we switch these two events around? I feel like switch these two events around. We could have something else be first. But what would go first if we do that? I don't know. How did it? I just realized my text-to-speech. Hold on. First up, I forgot to. Copy. Paste that there. Why is text-to-speech not working? I'm resetting the code.
It's working now. Hello world test.
Okay, so that read. But that didn't. Is it not? Why is this? Hold on. Text-to-speech ain't working. Huh. This sucks.
User 1 says, hello. User 2 says, how are you? User 3 cheered 100 bits, awesome. General _ Amos says, awesome.
Okay, now it's working. We've... Batman Expert has been... denied. I am not sold on what I have so far.
922 says, hello.
Hello. Hello. Hold on, can I do not want the music to be that much louder than you guys. The music is like blasting compared to you. Okay. So I'm not sold on this order of events so far. I feel like we could switch humanity getting to Mars and parasites, then we can spread it out for more than a year. Also, I think something else should happen first. Can I? Hold on. Oh, yes I can. Okay, so I can make 2 events first if we need to. You know what? Frick it. Humanity got to Mars first. 2143, give them like almost 10 years. And then we're gonna go by Star Wars Earth calendar, I feel, for labeling the months.
Arcane Duke 922 says, I would do the dates last.
Fair. I do want to get the order correct though. So we can have 2 events, or actually we could just add as many events before or after, if we feel like it, and then some events in between, like and then failure of oxygen sector 3.
Arcane Duke 922 says, was Max starting on Earth or Mars?
He was
Where
starting
was the last fight?
He was starting on Earth. Last fight should be on Mars. That's the idea. I want to get like pre-story things done first, so that would probably likely be down here a bit. Likely. Okay, I need to. Besides just saying there was no set. Sector 3 is not likely to stay Sector 3. That's just a working title, a name for it. It may be called something else. What? Okay. So. And then I need an event that easily starts like, okay, here's why humanity would want to get to Mars. I mean, it could be I was going to do pollution, but then I typed population. I don't want to be like, this was a world war, but effectively it would be.
Arcane Duke 922 says, list of events. Mars and Moon populated. Parasites invade Mars. First expedition to study the parasites. Max family dies. Max dog dies. Max travels to Moon. Max travels to Mars. Big final fight. These are just events not in order specifically.
We already have parasites getting to Mars. Actually, what was... Oh. No, hold on.
Arcane Duke 922 says, overpopulation of Earth could be the reason why they go to Mars. Mole Knight might be a new way for space travel to make it faster and more economical.
And then I'm imagining this is over the course of a couple of years. You know what? I can put...
Arcane Duke 922 says, also the moon is tidally locked, so that is going to make settling it fun. Meaning it always has the same face pointed at the earth.
That's right. How... Oh my gosh, actually though, I'm going to keep this in mind. Because the...
Arcane Duke 922 says, it still gets both light and dark.
Yes, it gets 14 days of light and then 14 days of dark at a time. Roughly.
Arcane Duke 922 says, like Alaska.
How... Because I know it's not quite the same as what... Okay.
Arcane Duke 922 says, makes a small community more believable.
Yes. The fact that it actually is a thing. Yeah.
Arcane Duke 922 says, what is Sector 3?
Don't know yet. I'm imagining it was one of the... I could change it to what it actually is. It just... I want something to have happened on Mars to have reduced its population slightly. So, Sector 3 is likely to change being Sector 3. It's just a throwaway title for now. It's one of the things I intend to change. I'm imagining it's a housing, like one of the housing ones. So we've done nothing for how the moon population works. Not the moon, Mars. Sorry, Mars. So I don't need to kill everybody, I just need to kill some people.
Arcane Duke 922 says, what is Mars is not fully terraformed, so they live in dome structures.
Oh, then we can do... Dome 3.
Arcane Duke 922 says, same for the moon.
Yes. That's an idea for... Yeah.
Arcane Duke 922 says, or the moon could be a subterranean colony, that is why it is not popular.
Have I been spending Moonlight consistently? Yes, I have. Good. Ignore spelling errors, please. I feel like that one's self-explanatory. I don't need to really explain that one too much more. Um. Scientists go to Earth to study parasite. What event would lead from this to this? Scientist hideout is discovered.
Arcane Duke 922 says, morbid curiosity causes the scientists bring the back to Earth to study.
Oh! I like that idea better. And then I'm imagining they've discovered that because they're now like thriving on Earth in the scientist labs. Okay. Yeah, I actually like that idea a lot better than I
Arcane
had.
Duke 922 says, immediate attempts to weaponize the parasites could cause a new tech race which leads to the parasites getting out.
I'm imagining for some reason the scientist's little hidey spot is just a thing on the ocean.
Arcane Duke 922 says, The evil scientist can use the war to conduct human experiments, which is how Mac's family dies. War crimes really an experiment.
How did you read the first time it said experiment there? Also, I feel like I need to sneeze, but it's not coming out. Yep, gone. You know that feeling when you gotta sneeze?
Arcane Duke 922 says, yep.
What did we call the scientist?
Arcane Duke 922 says, you have the document.
I know I have the document. He's named Jeff, right? Jeff. Why did it... Hold on, why did it... Word! Oh my gosh, why did you freaking change how... When did this happen? I don't... Why did it change the formatting? It was good indented with the A, B, C, D thing. Now this is more difficult to read.
Arcane Duke 922 says, the experiments could be something like Canada attacks Germany and, oh no, a new wide area parasite weapon was used.
I don't care about that amount of detail yet. Actually, I will put... Did we have Jeff as infected with, like, with Hive Mind itself from the beginning, or is that something we wanted to towards the middle? As in, do I put that in some point now-ish? Like, he's already doing evil
Arcane
stuff.
Duke 922 says, ask again?
Jeff, Hive Mind. We have him as being fully controlled by the Hive Mind. At what point do we want that? Imagining after his experiments that are already unethical. How far into his experimentation do we go? I mean, we could put down, like... boom, and then, like... 2 years later.
Arcane Duke 922 says, he would travel to Mars to secure the parasites. Travel back to Earth. Begin human experiments and finally start on himself.
I'm imagining that he's one of the scientists.
Arcane Duke 922 says, also the Resistance can start at the first Mars trip to study because they disagree with taking the parasites back to Earth.
How do I remove?
Arcane Duke 922 says, that would be where Burns and Giovanni split apart.
Okay, fair, actually. There's a T in Earth. I'm not happy with these years, but they were examples.
Arcane Duke 922 says, testing era. Arcane Duke 922 says, it worked. Era.
Yeah. What? I don't even know what to say for that one. I need to silence my phone today. Oh my gosh. I'll get back to those. I didn't read that one. No, why is it not reading these? Text-to-speech should be on.
Arcane
Yes.
922 says, dang it, I used an apostrophe. Era.
The knowledge dark sentence. Yes, I do play D&D. I usually stream it Fridays. We are skipping this Friday because I had something come up. But a week from tomorrow we will be doing a Professor Strahd stream. So yes, I do play D&D.
Thief Noun Darksinate says, your accent is dope.
Oh, I thank you. Any guess where it's from? Because I like.
Thief Noun Darksinate says, where are you from?
I'm just curious what a Star Wars Evil D&D campaign maybe interest you for any separate strategic, like, who's the main villain, maybe? Maybe. Out of curiosity, why are you asking me specifically? I mean, I know I do tend to do D&D streams, so it's not unlikely to say no to this. But I also do have a very busy schedule.
Arcane Duke 922 says, just a heads up, if you use an apostrophe in the message, the TTS will not read it out loud. Thief Noun Darksinate says, I find and ask 20 plus of our players their way. Thief Noun Darksinate says, so where are you from?
I am from Maine. The accent is not the main accent though, so I have no idea where the frick it came from.
Thief Noun Darksinate says, this way.
This way?
Thief Noun Darksinate says, where?
Maine. The state of Maine. The accent does not fit.
Thief Noun Darksinate says, oh, I thought it was kinda British, haha.
Theoretical physics.
Stream Elements says,
Said I had a
thank you for
theoretical
following
degree
Thief Noun
in
Darksinate.
physics.
Smiley
They said,
face.
welcome aboard.
Thanks for the follow, man.
Darksinate is now following.
No, it's not British. People think that, but it's not. Some people think it's Irish. I had one guy think it was Canadian.
Thief Noun Darksinate says, Maine is New England though, so. Thief Noun Darksinate says, kinda close.
Yes, it is New England. The accent is different, though. The accent is what it should be, because we didn't change our accent. They went and changed theirs to be different. Jefferson Fact with the Hive Mind Leader.
Thief Noun Darksinate says, may I share some more campaign details?
Go ahead. And like Arcane Duke said, apostrophes will have text-to-speech not read it. It's a bug in the code I've turned into a feature. It's supposed the Palpatine response to Disney, so basically this new regime that claims to be fighting the rebels against the New Republic, it's dictatorship. There will be an organization basically becomes much smaller Senate. The Senate will still exist. New controllers amongst two powerful chancellors that work for the Emperor. Basically, Palpatine is dead and extremely rich. That's human has installed a new dictatorship. The Chancellor, they could control everything under the villain organization seeks to complete domination control. They will commit horrific circumstances to keep their agenda growing.
Feet Now Darksinate says, we play in my Discord community over VC. Thursdays or Fridays, sometimes both bi-weekly. 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. EST.
Okay, so doesn't fit with my schedule at all.
Feet Now Darksinate says, we do need an evil general, so.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so fitting though.
Arcane Duke 922 says, Mac's family should die before the hive mind infects since he is still perfecting the experiments.
Yes, that is something I already have. Jeff experimenting here, that's when Mac's family dies. Infected. After the infection is when the dog dies. Yeah, that's what I thought. Actually, technically, I'm now thinking I'm like, technically I can do, I'm like, actually interested in this now. I technically can do the Friday one if I full go sleep. And then double up. Anyways, back to the book writing timeline. I feel like Max's dog setting off the story kind of is like, from this point here onward, it's just, where is it? This. But you know what? I think I know what did this. I went and gave some folks last names, and I did that over the phone. And I think the phone is what changed all the formatting things, because it formats different on the phone. Oops. My actual mistake. Shoot. Do. Experiments killing Jeff's. Oh, Max's dog, not Jeff's dog. Jeff has no dog. Jeff has no love. Jeff has no life. We've just decided Jeff may be a successful scientist who's evil. Even from the beginning, even without the hive mind. So now it's a duel. They both have a part to play. Makes it even more personal.
Arcane Duke 922 says, is the final fight back on Earth after Max has been to Mars?
It could. It could. What could happen is he could start the fight on Mars. There's a space dogfight that eventually leads. This should be a long fight. I don't know if I feel great about this. I do know that I do need him to get to Mars for some reason. So imagining there will be at least a fight on Mars. But the final fight. I'm not sure. I was imagining the final fight on Mars, but I guess we'll see where the story goes, actually.
Arcane Duke 922 says, he could be running away from a plan to infect everyone on Earth and needs the help of the Resistance.
I'm imagining more he doesn't know what's going on fully. Until eventually he finds something out and then joins the Resistance because of that, and that's why he's on the one mission. Oh.
Arcane Duke 922 says, or he got infected when his dog died and he went to the moon colony to try and kill his paradite.
I'm more imagining that it's because of his occupation. He doesn't get paid all that much. And I'm imagining space travel to still be somewhat pricey.
Arcane Duke 922 says, smugglers.
Yes, but I'm not gonna have him like immediately know the smugglers. I do want him to like meet them eventually. Probably on this mission.
Arcane Duke 922 says, since he is a scrapper he could have connections to the black market.
Shoot, you're right. And then so would smugglers. So, yeah, I guess he technically... Okay. Actually, this could establish that he knows a smuggler for later. Actually, I'm gonna put...
Arcane Duke 922 says, the smuggler can be introduced from his black market contact.
Yeah. I would imagine, like, it takes some time to get one. And, like, so these three are effectively the same event happening at the same, like, not the same exact event, but happening close to the same time. Infected...
Arcane Duke 922 says, yes.
So I'm just going like that, just so I know they're the same. I don't think I like them like that. Oh, no, that is not what I intended to do. I'm imagining, like, even all this takes the course over, like, a couple-ish years, maybe. At most 3. And by this, I mean the entire book.
Arcane Duke 922 says, On the moon he can hear about something big on Earth from refugees. Arcane Duke 922 says, how long it lasts depends on how fast we have space travel be.
I'm imagining Star Wars type where it's technically faster than light, but still has it take time. Because oh, hold on. If you travel at light speed,
The Dark Spartan 5 says, you should go and blow up someone.
you should go blow up someone.
Arcane Duke 922 says, light speed is too fast. The Dark Spartan 5 says, oh.
Yeah.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, is there warp in the story?
Light speed would be like 22 minutes, so maybe we don't, not that fast. So now we do math.
Arcane Duke 922 says, couple weeks for Mars to Earth.
Yeah.
Arcane Duke 922 says, maybe a month.
I'll split the difference and say 3 weeks.
TLBG14 says, hi.
Hi. How are you doing? How do you... TLBG14.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, so the protagonist is being hunted for inventing warp?
No, warp is faster than light, I'm pretty sure. Light speed too slow, we need to go ludicrous speed.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, yes.
He's already got other problems.
TLBG14 says, good. I have been writing my own story called The Sands of Time.
He's trying to be... Okay. The John Wick thing was an accident. Batman Expert suggested a story about a boy and
The
his
Dark
dog.
Spartan 5 says, LOL.
And I'm
Dark
like...
Spartan 5 says, Space Wick.
Yeah, effectively. And the Sounds of Time thing sounds cool. TLBG14. Is there something easier I can call you? Can I just call you BG? Or 14? Or something? The text-to-speech will always call you by your full name. Unless you do a apostrophe.
TLBG14 says, you can call me TL.
Okay, TL. I will try to remember that. TL. I was going to...
The Dark Spartan 5 says, got it TF2. Arcane Duke 922 says, Teal. The
Teal.
Dark Spartan 5 says, that's your name now.
Just people show up and just get new names.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, LOL. The Dark Spartan 5 says, Kumi wheeze.
The fact I'm not looking makes that seem worse than it might be. I'm gonna have Santa's Time is about a Gen Z adult who gets killed, but it's a second chance at the hands of Father Time then take task him to find humanity's tragic past. Interesting. Oh, and I don't think I
Arcane
mentioned
Duke
it.
922 says at TLBG14, how long have you been writing your book?
That's a good question. How long have you been writing your book? No, I don't like. My phone will not stop today. There's just finds about Jeff's plans. Houston tries to make moves to get to Mars.
TLBG14 says at Arcane Duke 922 right now only chapters 1 and 2 are done.
Hey, that's more progress than we've got here. So far we don't even
Arcane
have
Duke
chapter 1
922 says,
started.
the Resistance was already on Mars.
Was it? The Resistance... We had 2 Resistances. I think is what the issue here is. Because now I'm now getting confused with my own thing.
TLBG14 says, Chapter 1 is the setup with the MC getting killed and meeting Father Time.
Nice.
TLBG14 says, Chapter 2 is the MC in Mesopotamia.
Huh. Do you have like, how far out is your story planned?
TLBG14 says, with characters Gilgamesh and Sijiri. Arcane Duke 922 says, Resistance forms on Mars when the scientists try to take the parasites back to Earth.
So this event here would actually be more here. Or like simultaneously. I would imagine people on Earth. You know what?
TLBG14 says, the Mesopotamic
Yeah,
art
sure.
basically
Yeah.
is taking parts from mythological stories such as the Epic of Gilgamesh, the story of Tiamat, and the story of Ishtar.
That actually seems very interesting. Anyway,
Arcane Duke 922 says at TLBG 14 is the time travel back on time experience or is UMC jumping around in time? Can he control it? TLBG14 says at Arcane Duke 922 in short he has to finish a task given to him in that time period or be given a gift from a hero to progress.
as far as travels go through time, it's via Father Time's pocket watch. So very creative. Also, I love the visual of the time traveling pocket watch. That's what help.
Arcane Duke 922 says, that sounds cool. If he is changing the past, is it changing the future or creating a new timeline? Also, if you write an apostrophe, the TTS does not read aloud.
It's a bug that I turned into a feature. And the only reason why it is a feature is because sometimes you don't want your message read out loud. Like, I don't want stream elements being read out loud. Sometimes the TTS will also just simply skip your message for some reason. I don't know why.
Arcane Duke 922 says, what were we trying to figure out with the timeline?
What were we trying to figure out? I feel like there could be more. Like, I feel like we have a good base right now. We might want to start labeling month and year things and fleshing things out. As for the villain, I plan to include Northrop from Lovecraft. Oh yes, that guy. Cool. This is because he's about
Arcane
to.
Duke 922 says, actual month and day stuff can happen at the writing level, so you have more of a sense of how much time needs to elapse.
Still basic years for these things, I feel. I'm gonna make the peacetime on shorter. If I plan him in a situation that will make him, such as farming Paris for stealing Helen from Hector to start Detroit. Oh! The more you go on about this book, the more interesting it seems.
TLBG14 says, the Greece arc when I get to it will be the Iliad and the Odyssey.
That makes sense. Yep. And then the story takes place in the story will officially start in 2169.
Arcane Duke 922 says, does he sink the Titanic? Are you using him a hero or impartial timeline fixer so may be pressured as evil?
Pressured. I love text-to-speech. I really do. Every once in a while it just goes at a random word. Instead of saying what was actually written. After Greece will be Egypt with the story of Nick. You are well researched if you have all these things. 'Cause I honestly do not know what this one is. Oh, the last Greek queen of the 6th dynasty of ancient Egypt. He was on writings long considered resources a major queen. Okay. Somehow I've not heard of this one. This is a call from Spam Risk. I do not think I want to answer this. Oops, that's the code for the text-to-speech. I do not need that open. I just needed to make sure it was working.
TLBG14 says, Nitocris in legend floods the Pyramid of Giza so the murderers of her brother die.
I will probably be looking more into the... You are very well researched if you have all this stuff, like, prepared for a book. If you already know it all for the writing process, which means you probably researched it for the writing process or already knew it. Education. Most people learn better when they are interested in something on their own. Oh, yep, definitely a scam. Scam likely is a scam. You ain't taking my money from me. I've got none. The story of Ireland would be the story of Cú Chulainn, Eustace Cycle, and the story of Yep. That all makes sense. I said that you were well researched. I'm recognizing a lot of these. So far, there's been one I haven't recognized. We have a blank space here. What was going to go in this blank space? Does anybody remember? England will have King Arthur, Crusades, and Robin Hood. Yeah. Makes sense as well. How far into history will you go? Like, will you get to the Like the Paul Bunyan story kind of thing. Is that the name I'm thinking of? The correct name I'm thinking? Next will be Joan of Arc, Three Musketeers, Commander of the Iron Mask, French Revolution, Court of Monte Cristo. Yep, okay.
Arcane Duke 922 says, you can throw in a fight with parasites to capture them. Some scientists can die. Lives can be saved.
Movie story of Sugard, Franco-Persian War, rise of Wilhelm II.
Arcane Duke 922 says at TLBG 14 home many books are you writing? It sounds like this will be a book series. I tip my hat to you. The Dark Spartan 5 says, so they captured Venom. TLBG 14 says, the time-traveling Shen agents end with WW2 because Adolf will be gone somehow.
Interesting. These aren't quite Venom. Because you can at least hide Venom. So Venom is the combination of... Oh, never mind. The symbiote doesn't get the name Venom until he's merged with Eddie Brock. And then he gives it to himself. As like he says it, we are Venom. It's the combination of the two. So we'll end with World War II because Adolf will be gone now. Spoilers for the book you haven't even finished writing yet. Whoa! Ready? Here I am posting like the entirety of mine just here. And a nice little timeline.
5 says, also Arcane Duke, did you know what today is?
Leif Erikson Day. Oh shoot, I meant to pull that up.
Arcane Duke 922 says, yes. Lap around the sun was congratulated.
Congratulated.
Hey everybody, it's Leif Erikson Day! Hinga dinga durgan.
See? Leif Erikson Day.
The Dark Spartan
Howdy.
5 says, no it's a lap around the sun day for a someone.
Gosh dang it, I don't know any of these people. I was trying to pull up an actor and be like, yeah, it's this actor's birthday.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, do the parasites look like fungus of some kind?
We don't have a description of what they look like yet. Oh, John Lennon. Here we go. Lap Around the Sun for John Lennon. I don't know if any, like, nobody else here I recognize. He's the... Why is the only one I recognize dead? Oh, wait. No. The guy who played, Ned in Homecoming. Yeah, him. He did a lap, he completed a lap around the sun. Do we have a description of the parasite? Yeah, we do not have a description of the parasites. I keep forgetting
Arcane
to do
Duke
that.
922 says, the parasites can have different looks according to the powers and weapons they give. Was thinking it would be more of a flesh type parasite.
I imagine them like baseline default being based off of like a leech with. Hold on. Let me just get this up and ready. And switch from this. Is this working?
Arcane Duke 922 says, I missed that. I got a call.
I don't think that looks like a leech. Hold on. I don't think anything was important was said during that. Hold on, why are you not... OBS, why? Okay. How do I get images? Oh, I know. I'll draw it real good and slap it into the Word file. And hope it doesn't mess up too bad. I don't like using paint. Insert. Great, where is it? Gosh dang it, it's gone. Oh wait. Draw. The feather in the middle. Like a bunch of these little legs. Parasite. I just hate drawing with the mouse, I think is really what it is. Parasite. Imagine this but in black.
Arcane Duke 922 says, cockroaches. Kill it with fire.
Cockroaches.
TLBG14 says, as for if it being separate books, hell no, it's gonna be one big story.
The enthusiasm, I see it. And then I'm imagining variations in what they look like being like if it's one of the fire ones, like can potentially grant fire powers. It'd have like instead of being black, a redder tint to it. The metallic ones would Well, like the one that would give the brass knuckle thing would probably be. Probably like look, instead of like looking slimy, it would look hard and rough. I don't care if it's gonna be long as survival, I'm gonna try to hold it.
Arcane Duke 922 says, so like a 1000 plus page book?
So effectively, Lord of the Rings, but in one book. Which I have seen done.
Ngẫu điều đài này mé Nam Dịnh.
What? Nope, that I am distracted. I am looking at a magic card that is not illegal in any format. How did this happen? And then, yeah, I feel like the dates will work themselves out. I'm saving this with each drawing, for the parasite drawing, that I will flesh out later and make better. We've effectively done another 2 pages. We are consistent with this. We've consistently done 2 pages of work each stream we've done this. So I imagine when actually writing it, it'd take 2.
Arcane Duke 922 says, do we have a plan for the next stream?
We don't. Because there is still things I feel like we should flesh out. Like, but I'll change it. I'll be fleshing this stuff out off stream. And then next we have the basic story structure. We might start doing chapter breakdowns on what's going to happen in each chapter. So fleshing this stuff out here more. like some of this may be like this is likely going to be just a throwaway line somewhere if it even comes up. This is going to come up. That's going to come up. But the book really starts here. Kind of. So we might be working on actually getting the basic idea of what happens in each chapter done. Not the entirety of it, I don't think, because I think that is a bit ambitious for one stream. But at least one chapter should be done. Maybe, possibly. But I do feel like at this point, even though this has been shorter than most of them, this is a good stopping point. I sadly will not be making it to D&D tomorrow, which means there is no D&D tomorrow. Because you kind of need the DM. Yeah, I forgot about that small detail when things came up. So, no stream tomorrow. Tuesday's stream is likely going to be Shadow of War again, unless I change my mind. I don't know if I'm going to do a gimmick with it, or if I'm just going to have text-to-speech on just for chatting convenience. But next Thursday stream for this book thing, I don't have a plan yet. I'm thinking fleshing things out and getting like, here's what we want a chapter structure to be, maybe. Maybe we want to come up with ideas for B stories as well. I don't know yet. But I think for now, we are at a stopping point. And maybe I need to start making this into separate things as well, instead of like one big thing that I opened out on like, oh, I'm tired. I can tab between, I think hitting Alt tab maybe fast, and then arrowing to what I want maybe faster.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, D&D.
No, there's no D&D stream tomorrow. Sadly, can't make it.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, 5e.
I can't make it, so unless you want a DM, and last I checked, the party was left off in a pretty rough state too, so that may be a TPK like immediately anyways.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, more 5e. Arcane Duke 922 says, Amos was invited to a D&D campaign. The Dark Spartan 5 says, oh. The Dark Spartan 5 says, who's?
The known Dark Senate. They were a Twitch viewer this stream.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, what?
The known it did a random Twitch viewer. The known Dark Senate.
Arcane Duke 922 says, basically a Star Wars campaign. The Dark Spartan 5 says, also how did the party look?
My party looks like the one I'm DMing for looks pretty rough. They have...
The Dark Spartan 5 says, I haven't rewatched the last little bit.
They taking a long rest with 3 defeated flame skulls in the room. They're getting an hour. They're all
The
low.
Dark Spartan 5 says, oh yeah.
They're getting an hour of rest.
Arcane Duke 922 says, Fireball X3.
Yeah.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, so this is the time Arcane Duke. The Dark Spartan 5 says, we charge for glory.
Here's the thing. If they died at the beginning of the campaign, Strahd doesn't win. Nobody wins. If they die at this point...
Arcane Duke 922 says, I shall curse their dice to only roll once. The Dark Spartan 5 says, LOL.
At this point,
The Dark Spartan 5 says, ha ha
if
ha ha.
it's a TPK, I am free to read the Strahd wins ending. Strahd effectively has what he wants already. The only thing he's missing is the Sun Sword destroyed and his tome back. Everything else he wants, he already has. And the party just delivered it to him. So, they show up at Ravenloft and he's like, yes, you've been invited, welcome. Thank you for everything you've done for me. I will take my tome
The Dark
back.
Spartan 5 says, yes but, what if, Arcane Duke, and I show up?
Show up for what purpose?
The Dark Spartan 5 says, kill em all. Arcane Duke 922 says, to help Strahd. The Dark Spartan 5 says, we're both
Yeah, both
evil
evil.
characters.
Okay. So, if you show up to kill them to help Strahd, I still get to read the Strahd wins ending. A normal TPK would just be reset. But at a certain point, it's like, oh no, there's a Strahd wins ending. Technically, it activates in like if they're killed in Ravenloft. But at this point, it's pretty safe to say, like, Strahd has servants right where they're dying, and they have 2 things he's missing. 3. He also wants Esmeralda dead after her attack on him. But yes, first
The
to
Dark
die.
Spartan 5 says, so they did all the stupid stuff and didn't explore.
Yes. If they explored, they wouldn't have lost Gilgar. They would have actually had health potions.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, aka they're a bunch of noobs.
Yes. Honestly, they shouldn't have gotten this far. The only reason they did is because I was very nice at the beginning. However, the nice guy gloves have kind of come off a little bit. And I'm like, Strahd wins. Because they keep missing things that are very
Arcane Duke
obvious.
922 says, where were they supposed to explore?
First up, they were supposed to like actually take a look at Death House and explore around it instead of just going to each room and being like, "Oh, this is a room," and then leaving the room. The village of Valaki, they caused mischief and got kicked out before they could go into everything they could explore. Sure, there's events that they missed because they went and did something else. They pretty thoroughly explored the windmill. It's not even like exploring, it's more just searching for stuff. They didn't... Yeah, they didn't loot... They did not loot any of the rooms in Death House. Not one room was looted. The only thing that was taken was a sword off a mantle and that was then put promptly back. They attempted to loot Esmeralda's wagon at the exact wrong time.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, Arcane Duke, they aka Lethal, just decided to go and be greedy rather than playing out characters.
Three of them are not interested in loot at all. One of them is being greedy. And instead of properly doing things to get gold, he stole blatantly in front of other people.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, so what would my character do and then act on that?
Yeah.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, and that's not what they have been doing.
They have a single focus. They are focused. They have a single focus. And that focus.
Arcane Duke 922 says, being greedy means looking at everything for loot. Research to find more loot.
Only Lethal has been going for loot, even then he's missed quite a bit. And then he's being greedy with it too and holding it out for himself. Like they've
The
found...
Dark Spartan 5 says, it's why rules lawyering is a good thing to have sometimes.
Yeah,
the Dark
understandable.
Spartan 5 says, Yakuas he's play basic B rogue. The Dark Spartan 5 says, I don't know, let em die. The Dark Spartan 5 says, maybe they'll learn.
Somebody is very likely
Arcane
to
Duke
die.
922 says, it annoys me when one party member starts hoarding and hiding things.
I'm gonna be honest, I feel like one of the party members is gonna die, and I feel like it's going to be that rogue. Oop.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, also I meant him being greedy in the wrong way.
At least he's looking for loot, though. Because, good chunk of them haven't searched for anything, ever. And then when they do
The
find
Dark
things, they
Spartan
return
5
it.
says, but he's not useful if he isn't sharing.
Yes, that is true. That is absolutely true. I mean, if he does it again, his
The
character
Dark
will die.
Spartan 5 says, BRB. The Dark Spartan 5 says, gotta get my shower.
I'll probably be ending stream before you get back. At this point, we're just sitting here talking, not really working on the stream.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, no.
No. Yeah, big sad. But
The Dark Spartan 5 says, also how you doing the skulls?
what do you mean? How am I doing the skulls?
The Dark Spartan 5 says, just giving them their spells back.
How do they
The Dark
actually
Spartan
work?
5 says, like all spells.
How many are they supposed to get back?
Arcane Duke 922 says, no clue. The Dark Spartan 5 says, I don't know.
Um.
Arcane Duke 922 says, that will be up to you.
I'm actually gonna look that up right now. 'Cause it does not explicitly stay. So I'm wondering if there's some deep hidden rules somewhere. It looks like, based on the rules as written, it would not get its spells back. However, they still had spells left. So...
The Dark Spartan 5 says, they get spell slots back when they take a rest. The Dark Spartan 5 says, just like every other creature. The Dark Spartan 5 says,
so they
just
would.
looked it up.
They would get their spells back.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, no.
No.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, they won't.
Like I was saying, it's like, it looks like they won't. And then you said, you made me think for a brief moment that they would. I'm like, what? No, they...
The Dark Spartan 5 says, they didn't rest. The Dark Spartan 5 says, if they rest then yes.
Technically not a rest, so they would have the spells that they didn't use yet.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, regenerating is not resting.
So...
The Dark Spartan 5 says, so whatever they have left is what they got.
Yeah. Which, they still had a lot of their spells left. One of them never got a chance to use Fireball, for one. And that's the only third level spell they had, I think.
Arcane Duke 922 says, have them all regenerate in the same round to avoid making it too easy.
That was the plan.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, depends.
I know for a fact one didn't use Fireball, they only got 2 Fireballs off. Wait, did they get 3 Fireballs off? No, because one cast Blur, and then died. So yeah,
the
one
Dark Spartan 5 says, if one was killed quickly then it should come back quicker.
One was killed quickly. The other 2 were killed pretty much the same round, I think. And the one that was killed quickly did not get Fireball, so that means it can come back and then instant Fireball.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, so one should come back following turn the other 2.
Yes.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, would also be a harder encounter.
The plan, Fireball Esmeralda. Reason, I don't want to play her in the final Strahd fight.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, LOL.
It'll do it. It would only have 1 hit point though, right? It regains all hit points in 1 hour, unless holy water is sprinkled on it, or dispel magic or move cast is cast on them. Which means they do have a way of getting rid of them. They just don't know it.
The Dark Spartan 5 cheered 1000 bits. Cheer 1000 happy you know what.
Thank you for the bits. You didn't have to do that. Thank you. That's...
The Dark Spartan 5 says, I would have taken you to diner. The Dark Spartan 5 says, but you kind of live a little far for my liking.
That and you were in this town like 2-3 weeks ago? Probably even more recent than that, actually.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, Saturday.
Saturday. Not even a week.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, I was there almost all day Saturday.
Saturday.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, QS they split me up.
And then you were mad, and then Lethal Rubbish now said something that's gonna get him banned. Ban him.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, ha 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 ha.
This is more a curiosity thing. If I...
Sound Alert says, the Dark Spartan 5 played This Guy Stinks, for 100 channel points.
Okay. If he tries to message anything now...
Lethal Rubbish says, that wasn't in the rules.
He's back!
The Dark Spartan 5 says, got M.
Got him.
Arcane Duke 922 says, personal info should not be shared. The Dark Spartan 5 says, ha goddamn.
God damn.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, woo.
Lethal Rubbish was banned and his message was removed.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, that sounded like I said something else. Lethal Rubbish says, I think birthdays are fine.
Dude, I don't like people knowing that at all.
Duke 922 says, no they are not.
The good news is if I don't post the VOD today, and I just wait like 2 or 3 weeks, and then post it, nobody knows what day it actually was.
Streamers do it all the time. The Dark Spartan 5 says, LOL.
No, because a lot of things use birthdays as verification, it's not a good idea.
Arcane Duke 922 says, that should be their choice. Not chat choice.
Exactly. And if it was my choice, which it is, absolutely not no. Despite the thing, I somewhat publicly. I still don't like people knowing it.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, Anywho IGTG my shower by
Yep, I was planning on ending and we kept talking. And now it is getting to the point where this is actually the normal
The
length of
Dark
one of these
Spartan
streams.
5 says, LOL.
Yep, bye. I think I said everything I need to say. The announcement of
The
no
Dark
D&D
Spartan
tomorrow.
5 says, Bye sexy. The Dark Spartan 5 says, Love you.
How do I... Bye.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, Now Bearkit.
You can pinpoint the exact moment his heart broke in half.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, Yes.
Anyways, goodbye.
The Dark Spartan 5 says, Okay bye for reals.
Yep.